Welcome to Prismacast, the podcast where we talk about art and attempting to do art and procrastinating about it. I am your co-host, Chris Molnar-McGinty.
And I'm Michael Kay, and we're just wanting to drop down some talks about what we're up to and what we're listening to and what we're, more like who we're listening to in our community and kind of what we're reading, so.
Yeah, so this episode we just want to make as a introduction to ourselves. See how legitimate our bullshit is worth listening to. And, yeah.
How much does all those years that we did for school, how does that pay off? Does it pay off?
Right now, the answer is no. Yeah.
No, man. So, Chris and I have a very illustrious background. I think we both have at least 4 years of illustration training to our names and a baccalaureate of fine arts.
Baccalaureate? Laureate.
Yeah, look at us.
Mm.
Yeah, look at us.
Yeah.
We might not have been sua cum, but we were pretty freaking awesome while we were there.
And so now we can say shit like alma mater and get phone calls from the university. I don't even know if we should be talking about the university that we...
I don't think we should.
That's probably...
But we can still use the Latin terms. I feel like that's...
But yeah, I still get
legitimate.
Like phone calls from them saying, "Hey, do you want to donate?" I was like, "I got an illustration degree, so you tell me what you think I can donate right now." Art. I have an art degree.
Maybe.
So. Yeah. Well, let's talk about our origin stories. So.
I like this.
UK.
Me.
When did you first know that you were going to draw bras and hang them up on walls?
Oh my gosh, bras. You are right. I don't think they know my reference. We'll get there. We'll get there. Guys, tune in and we'll get to the bra. But for now, I think it's funny that that's the one that you... Whatever. Okay.
It's the one we have a photo of us standing next to, so...
That's true.
Yeah.
I guess. There's an us.
It's a nice...
There's an us.
Balcony.
Oh, if you would like to see a beautiful photo of us, which we will post to our Instagram handle, which is @Prismacasters. So if you guys want to see us on a different view of online, that's going to be where you're going to find our show notes and what we're talking about, who we're talking about. We'll link everything for you so that you can follow along, I guess. But we had a show, and so we'll go ahead and upload a brief little bio about who we are and our smiling faces for you guys. But back to the original question of how did I know that I was going to be an artist? Well, if you ask my mom, she was like, well, you were always taking crowns from your sister and saying, I'm the artist of the family. So I feel like that was really mean of me, but it's a very rude origin story.
Wait, she had a crown? Or crayon.
I say it. I say it CROWN, and I get ruined for it. But
you're that
how
fucking
my
person.
family did it. I'm that friend. I'm that person.
God.
We're gonna just don't mention Crayola, and you won't have to worry about it. How about that?
That sounds great. This is probably going to be the only time we ever mention crayons.
Crayons.
It just sounds like a lazy person who can't be bothered with cranberries. That's what...
I mean, I feel the same way about especially and specific and Pacific, but I don't know. You know, it's just one of those things. It's regional to my family.
Yeah, but some regions are wrong.
I mean, we're just different, and we accept our differences.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, Chris, tell me your deep, dark origin story.
Well, it's not deep or dark. I was actually gonna go to school for music.
What?
Yeah. I don't think you ever knew this. I don't really talk about it a whole lot. Yeah, so I played clarinet really, really fucking well. And I was in honor bands and like honor symphonies for youth. So I had played clarinet for 8 or 9 years. And cool. I was going to go to school for performance and composing. I wanted to be a composer. And then something along the way, it was like in high school. I had always been drawing Like, I still have little shitty doodles from, like, middle school and stuff of me drawing, I shit you not, World of Warcraft characters I'd made.
That's amazing! You still have them?
Oh, I got a couple. Maybe I can find them and, like, upload them, but they are cringy. They're cringeworthy for sure. Yeah, so I was doing mostly the music thing and getting really invested into it. And then I would say when I was around 16 years old, my interest in music started to fall off a bit. It wasn't that I didn't like music anymore. It was just as it got more serious, I didn't enjoy the business side of it. And yeah,
ruined it for you.
Yeah, it kind of ruined it for me. And weirdly enough, it's actually my mom who got me into going to school for art, because she was like, I think that you would have a better time making money with an art degree than you would a music degree. And I was just like, oh, I can't believe she doesn't support me. I mean, she doesn't, but that was like probably the closest to support I've ever gotten from her. Yeah, so I switched from, I still was like singing and playing guitar, and I was like in guitar class, but then the majority, yeah, so like the school I went to, like in high school, was basically a public prep school. So they had, yeah, they had colleges with minors and majors and yeah, doing all that stuff. So after freshman year, all of my classes, besides like the core classes you needed to take, like math and English and crap, was all just like art electives. Yeah, so it was really cool, because while the people I went to high school sucked, my education was really good. I know that I got a really good high school education, and I got to take like college level art classes. And
yeah, that's insane. Like, I went podunk, back country type school, just solid public. I mean, we had electives, but the core of it was ceramics, drawing, painting. And those were like the only three. And as you continue to take them in high school, they just added numerals on the end for you, but you just made up your own assignments. So I never really had like artists, movements, anything like that. That all came through college. So the fact that you had that early, that's really awesome. And dang, goody for your mom. I didn't know that.
Yeah, but probably one of the handful of things she did positively in my life is that. So yeah.
I mean, mom shade, but you know what? Deserving sometimes. But I feel very solid that she turned you in the right direction, because that's how I got to meet you.
Yeah, that's true. You wouldn't meet me in fucking, oh my God, it'd be marching band.
Hell no.
That's the other thing. I didn't want to do marching band. Like, it's so shallow, but I'm like, I don't want to wear the fucking uniform. I don't want to be around sports. Are you fucking kidding me? No way.
I mean, shout out to all of the band people who did that in their illustrious past, because you know, that is a flag that's literally is very hard to wave.
Literally our fucking editor Will, just so you know.
he did that, huh?
Yeah, his fucking drumline.
We love you.
Appreciate it.
It's definitely. Oh, that was rough. I felt so bad because we had two members of our marching band who were also a part of different sports teams. So like they couldn't catch a freaking break. Like as soon as they were done playing football, they'll have to turn around and perform the halftime show. And I was
oh my God, no way.
Practices.
Yeah, I know that like with our marching band, it was definitely you either do sports or you do marching band. You don't do both.
No crossover.
No crossover, because there's people. Well, back then it was like, oh, that's so fucking greedy, but now it's like, yeah, that's probably a good idea to have that kind of balance. But yeah, so after that, I was kind of frustrated though, because I did take like college level art classes in high school, and I was told they were going to transfer over, so I would opt out of like art foundations and.
Oh, cool.
No, because I didn't.
Oh, never mind.
Yeah, so I spent...
You build me up, just shoot me down, Kris.
I made so many color wheels. I know the color wheel like the back of my fucking hand. And you know I'm a pro? I'm a pro at color wheels, at making shade scales. Oh, shit.
In your sleep, Kris.
In
your sleep.
my sleep. Yeah, I think it was like the first art foundations class. And I was just doing it. I was like doing this in my fucking sleep, getting the blackest of black and the lightest of gray and perfect gradient. And yeah, the teacher, I don't know, he's like an adjunct professor, and he's like, oh, that's quite good. Better because I've been doing this for 3 goddamn years. And yeah, I definitely felt like early part of the movie of Karate Kid. And I had like a dude standing over me, wax on, wax off, but it's like blend back and forth. Ugh. Awful.
I feel kind of bad because those were my first interactions with color wheels and shade scales and perspective drawing and everything. Like it was a firsty first, so I had so much fun. I was like, look at all these fundamentals. Look at them.
So then
rudimentary learnings.
Yeah, see, that's probably how it's supposed to be. And everyone in those classes were grateful as fuck, but not me. I was annoyed. Genuinely annoyed.
I'm so sorry that they didn't transfer over. That's the...
It is.
Bollocks.
It is what it is. It's how I got to meet... It's not how I met you, but it's how I got to meet Glenna, who is... I don't know if you know Glenna. I won't say her last name, but...
I love Glenna.
Yes! Oh my god.
I love Glenna.
She is... Like, you know how, like, Eliza Schlesinger talks about, like, your party goblin? Yeah. Glenna's my fucking party goblin. And I told her that once, and she's like, of course I would be your fucking party goblin. You got a good story, right? You got a good story?
Yeah. Dude, if you were still up here, you guys would be party goblins. I'm just saying.
She's gotten me into some shit.
Okay,
yeah.
never mind.
I appreciate it now. No. I mean, you can if you want, but I'm not ashamed.
No, we need the party goblins in our lives.
Yeah. No, everyone has a party goblin. Sometimes it's an internal monologue, and sometimes it's a 5-foot-tall Mexican named Glenna. So, there you go.
She legitimately is 5 foot tall. I didn't meet Glenna until our queer art class, and I thought that was a very unique place for most of my friendships to start. But it was legitimately probably the one college class where I met the most dynamic people who were able to speak their mind through, like, weird queer movements. And everybody has an opinion about queer art, I realized in that class. But also, people were more willing to talk there than in any other class. So I think that was one of those classes where Glenna was amazing. Oh, she was so nice to everybody. She was, I don't know her as a party goblin. I know her as an extremely nice, artistic woman who can speak to all facets of people. So
she can. She's also, she's a nice party goblin, but she's also an aggressive drinking party goblin.
We're going to have this aggressive drinking goblin friend on the show.
Oh, yeah.
We're just going to have to introduce these people to her because she's amazing.
I'm sure she'll do it. So, like, for you had, like, art classes in your high school, but what was your initial goal going in to university? Was it, like, you ended at the same place you had planned to end when you first started?
Well, when I left high school, I was like, big fish, small pond. I won almost every contest that I entered for art. So my idea of going into college was, I'm really good at art. I have a really strong voice. So I know what I want to say and I know how I want to say it. And so when I got into college, I was super into, this is how I'm going to say things. This is the only style I'm going to execute while I'm there. Like, I was very, this is how I speak. And it became different the longer I was there. So I didn't get my degree in 4 years. I got it in 5 because I took a semester off. But, and you know how art classes are. They're weirdly stacked.
Yeah.
So if you leave, the fall class isn't available till next spring. Or until the next fall. So you have to take weird classes in the spring and then get back on the track on the fall or in the fall semester. So I had to, like, just mess around for a semester, which was kind of fun, actually. I met some really cool people, and none of the classes that I took were in my career path. So I took like an archaeology class that was very strange and full of very strange people.
Yeah, it took me 6 years to graduate for the same reason. I didn't take any semesters off, but it was definitely like I was at the bottom of the pond scum for getting priority for classes. So it was just me constantly getting rejected and waitlist.
Oh, see, and I would like show up to the first class and be like, you want me in your class. I'm awesome. And they'd be like, we're full up. And I'd be like, I'll bring my own chair. And they were like, okay.
See, I didn't know that bringing the chair was an option. I would just
always. Always.
I would just go in and be like, okay, which of these fuckers isn't going to show up on the first day? But it turned out like so many people knew that it was just a heavily sought off class. So nope, we're all going to fucking show up. So I was like waiting for illustration classes and realizing that they were being given to like upper class graphic designers, which pissed me off.
Yes.
And to this day.
I had so many. I'm so sorry. I had communications majors. I had graphic designers in my classes, and they were cool, but I think the only 2 classes that I had actual illustration majors in my class were the last 2, which are giant group classes with all the other graphic or illustration majors.
Yeah, when it came to like exhibition semester, that's when I think we were finally in a class where it was 100% illustrators. And up until that point, it was a lot of touch and go. But yeah, it took me 6 years, and as a result, I ended up with 3 minors. So
oh my god,
I got my art.
That's awesome.
It was all entirely accidental too, because I was just like taking classes and be like, oh, I like this, I guess I'll take the next class and the next class and the next class, and not realizing like the thesis class was the class that you got the minor for. So so I have a minor in art history, anthropology, and German. So
speak to me your German words.
Oh god, this is stressful.
Oh my god, this is bad. Okay, never mind. Yeah. I didn't mean to put you on the spot way. You're a little rusty. I get it. Okay.
I really just yell at my cats in German now.
Oh.
Yeah, like auf dem Tisch.
We haven't introduced our cats.
What?
Kris, we haven't introduced our cats. The whole reason for our art.
Oh yeah. My cats are not being introduced because they are locked in the back part of the apartment right now. So that way you can't hear them.
Well, I did the same thing with my dogs.
Yeah, like
so you wouldn't hear their little paws as they run across the rooms.
Yeah, it's just that they're loud meowers, and like I haven't let Oliver out all day today because we've had a heat advisory all week. And he's the type of cat where cats don't drink water. I don't know if a lot of people know this, but they're not like dogs where they'll get dehydrated and like scarf down a bunch of water. You have to like water down their actual cat food and get them to drink water that way. And yeah, it's so sad. Or like smush his face into a water bowl. But he's mad because he hasn't been outside in days.
Aggressive. I like it.
Yeah, aggressive. Like it. Just drink it. And it's like, this cat gurgling. But yeah, so he can't go outside at all because it's too hot. I don't want him to get hot on the balcony. So he'll like swat at the door and then meow at me incessantly. And then Duchess is just loud. Like if I am sitting at my computer chair, she'll be at the bottom meowing, and then she'll jump up, meow at me until I pet her, and if I stop petting her, she then bops her head into my boob, and then meows, bopping her head into my boob until I give her attention. And I was like,
no,
getting sexually harassed by a cat.
I mean, a little bit. It's definitely, on the scale, it's not green light, it's definitely red, but,
yeah,
you know.
It's fine.
What you gonna do?
It's fine. I had a first date a few weeks back, and
Yes, I love these stories. Give me one of these stories.
Well, it was actually a very good first date, and they are a cat person, which is unheard of in Texas from a straight man. And he was talking to me about, he's like, tell me about your cats. And I was like, oh, I feel like this is a trick. And then he goes, how many cats do you have? I'm like, how many fucking cats do you think I have? And
let's turn this back on you, sir.
And then he's
let's figure out what you think.
And here's the uncomfortable part, because he's like, I'm going to say it's a prime number. And I'm like, I don't remember what a prime number is. So.
Oh, boy. Oh, boy.
I took intro to mathematical thought. I haven't had to take a real math class since high school.
I think I took artist math in college, which is like pre-al, so,
Yeah,
whatever.
I took
we went backwards.
Yeah, lowest of the low. And so he's like, is it 4? I was like, is 4 a prime number? And he said, yeah. And I said, no, I have half that. I'm a little insulted that he thought I had 4 cats.
I thought a prime number was anything that couldn't be divided.
I thought a prime number was anything that could be divided, including itself.
Does William
know?
Maybe we should ask him.
Do you know prime numbers? Sir, who has his degree in communications?
Oh, shit. It's not helpful then.
Yes.
Yes, please.
You want me to pipe in on this? Okay. So a prime number is any number that cannot be divided by anything except 1 and itself. So 4 is not a prime number.
Oh! Shit!
It can be divided by 2.
I feel like maybe there was a part of that conversation that got blacked out because of, like, old fashions, where maybe he decided it wasn't a prime number anymore.
That's good. Hey, I was right. Oh, I said it was a number that couldn't be divided down any further. Devised? Is that
I have already declared that I am not good at math and have no interest at getting better at it.
I mean, you're right. I can balance my bank account.
Yeah, I can...
You don't really do checkbooks anymore, but you know what I mean.
I can balance my bank account. I can find percentages for test scores, and I can find discounts at sales. So
yeah, to fuel our consumer souls. Like, yeah, I feel like that's solidly what we need maths for.
I'm genuinely not ashamed of my consumerist side, but
I feel like I'm learning more against, what is it, fast fashion. I'm leaning more towards keeping rather than buying again, but I feel like that's another conversation for another day when we talk about fashion designers.
Great. Oh, I'm looking forward to that. Yeah.
That's going to be so fun.
Yeah. So are cats. I have only 2 cats that are fine. They're fine. They're named Duchess and Oliver. Yeah.
And I have 1 cat named Atticus and 2 dogs. One named Theta and one named Trip.
Yep.
With 2 P's.
Welcome to our art podcast where we talk about pets. Nailed it. Yeah.
And first dates.
And first dates. Yeah, those are going to be sprinkled
I also have a child. I feel like I should throw that out there too.
The fact that you're like, oh shit, I have a thing that I made.
I have a thing that I made. I didn't make my animals, but I feel like they're just as much family. But I have a child. He ranks above the animals on the scale. I don't know if I should say that or not, but I feel like I should because I said him after I said the animals.
I think you should include that he's at the top of the pyramid because you forgot that you had a son.
Yeah. No, he's sleeping. I haven't forgotten that he's there.
Okay.
He's right.
But you just forgot to tell people that you have one.
Yes, I forget that he's not, you guys don't know. So, yeah, I have a small son. He's 3.5 months old. I can't wait until he's 1 year old and I can stop saying that he's X amount of months old.
Yeah, but then like when
people don't care.
No, you're going to totally be one of those moms where he gets to 1 year old and you're going to be like, he's 12 months, he's 13 months, he's 15 months.
No, I forget what he's at all the time. I'm like, Andrew does too. Andrew's my husband. He goes, yeah, he's like, 6 months? And I'm like, yeah, sounds right. So I don't even correct anymore because he's just a part of us now. He goes with us where we go, and we can't leave him at home, obviously.
I'm glad to know that you're not leaving your newborn son at home accidentally at the grocery store. And it's like, are we forgetting something? Didn't we have a baby?
Wow, it was super funny.
We had a baby, right?
Andrew and I went on... We had a baby, right? Right? We went on a date to a Chinese place. And it was new for us. It was a new place. But I was like, okay, well, we're going to go. And Andrew was like, well, what about the baby? And I was like, he comes with us.
Hot date night with the infant.
Yeah, well, we were meeting a couple, like, our best friends, so it was, like, one of those, you gotta go, meet the couple best friend, and then hang out, and then go to coffee, and then you get to go home. But it was a nice night. It was a nice evening. But, yes, I have a small child, and he's awesome. So I have 3 animals, 1 son, and 1 husband, and they're all freaking male. I'm the only female in my house. So.
God, sexist household.
It is. It's kind of... It's male heavy.
Mine is, I guess technically female heavy, because it's 2 ladies and 1 man, so it's like a little harem situation. I have...
Oliver's got
He's like, I'm hot shit. Actually, I think most of the time now it's just like, I just want this bitch to stop slapping me in the face.
Duchess is not nice?
Aww. No! She'll like, they'll be laying there, and then she'll walk up to him, she's like, bop, and then hiss at him, and he'll just look at me, and I'm like, yeah, dude, I don't know. She's a bitch. I don't know what you want me to do about this.
I don't know what you
She used to be a trash cat. She probably finds you a threat. And he's a fully domesticated cat, born indoors, raised indoors. Yeah. Okay. So back to.
Sorry, that was a good tangent.
Good tangents.
It's real good.
There's gonna be more of those. Yeah. So for you
school.
What was your voice? What did you want your voice to be like going into college?
Oh, I just want it to be fun and imaginative. Like, I've always been someone who circles around whimsy. I don't really like to cater to realism in really any... I feel like we get too much reality in our daily dose of living. Like, there's so much nasty stuff going on. You get it in the news. Social media becomes a platform, or, I don't know, like a megaphone for a lot of the negativity that is in the population. So... going into college, I was just thinking, I'm just going to be this upbeat personality. I'm just going to have this voice that's extremely happy and has a lot of good vibes. And that's what I focused on.
And where would you say you landed upon leaving?
Oh, the vibes were gone. The vibes were ripped out of my soul. I had fun in school. I met a lot of really fun people. Kris, you're one of them, obviously.
Oh, thanks.
You're so welcome. But I met a lot of really cool people, and I learned a lot of really cool things. A lot of it has fallen out my brain since school. How long has it been since we got out of school?
3 years, 3.5 years.
3 years.
Because we graduated in May 2016. I know. I fucking know. It's weird. Yeah. Then the only reason I know that is because I moved down here where my office just had like its 3-year anniversary a few months back. So that's the only reason how I know when we graduated.
You have like a built-in clock there.
Yeah. Essentially. Like there is a sudden cliff in my life in 2016 where it's like pre-Texas, post-Texas, and there's like this heavy, dark sediment line from the volcano.
So, we'll back up real quick and we'll just say we both went to school and grew up in Idaho. And then why did you leave it? I guess let's share that.
Why did I leave Idaho?
Why did you leave this beautiful place that is mostly desert but mountains as well?
Well, okay. For the record, the majority of Idaho is not desert. It's just people mostly live in the desert in Idaho.
Yes, the majority of the population is going to be found in the desert regions, but there is a really beautiful chosen few who live in the northern part, which is beautiful.
Yeah.
And covered in green.
Yeah. And they're not all neo-Nazis. We should clarify that.
No, they're not.
There's not a lot of cults hanging out in Idaho, which...
I mean, but there's not a lot of diverse cultures hanging out.
No, it's definitely a white people factory. That is
definitely.
That is science.
We'll be honest. We'll be honest.
Yeah, it was definitely a culture shock coming down here. It wasn't that, like, I was uncomfortable being... Because, like, I'm in San Antonio, so I think a lot of people, when they think of Texas, they also think of Texas as a white people factory, but it's not like Houston. I don't know the demographics off the top of my head, but, like, being in Houston, I feel like I saw mostly black people, and then going into Dallas, I would say I saw mostly white people, and then San Antonio is mostly Hispanic culture. Yeah, so, like, it's just ingrained in everything. Frida is everywhere, and I fucking love Frida. My boss went to work on Friday with, like, a Frida shirt, and I was like, oh, look at this, look at the podcast cover. I'm the Frida cat. I'm the Frida cat. And she's like, okay, you go, Glen Coco. Please get out of my office.
Like, all right. Please remove yourself from my presence.
Yeah. P.S. Will you watch my cat this weekend? Yeah. So it was a much more nice conversation. Yeah, so I moved down here mainly because I got a job opportunity. I'm still with the same company. I will for sure not say the name of the company that I work for, just because they have a very specific image that they want to keep, and I am certain that this podcast is not going to be a part of that image that they want to be associated with. So, yeah, so I won't say the name of the company that I work for, but I've been with them for 7 years, and so,
Oof.
I know, 7 years as of September 1st. That'll be my 7th.
You're breaking it. Our generational cues usually dictate that an individual stay with a company for only 2 years. So you are breaking the mold, my friend.
I am hitting that 3 times over for this fucking company.
Your loyalty is outstanding. My loyalty is like 10 cups of coffee at a coffee hut, and that's about...
to each their own. No judgment over here.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's true.
So, I've been wanting to get out of Idaho for a while. Mainly, it's not that, like, Idaho's actually probably one of the better places to grow up. But, yeah, you don't have a lot of exposure to the outside world. It's very homogenous. It's very specific, I feel, in certain aspects, and if you don't fit that mold exactly, it becomes quite easy to be uncomfortable there. I was like, graduating college, I was one of the few women from my high school who finished her college degree, because a lot of women who I hate to say this term because it's super fucked up, but this is what they call it, was to go to college to get your MRS. And
oh, yes.
Yeah.
Okay, I get it.
Yeah.
Michael is slow. Let's engineer that into this podcast, because it's kind of true. I don't get the jokes, the acronyms, the stuff. It takes me a minute. I have to spell it out in my head. So, yes, the MRS.
Yeah.
Got it.
And for anyone else who is even slower than Kay, it's Mrs. Yes.
I mean, there are those. I doubt there are very many, but there are those.
Yeah, but I just want to make that clear. That's what it is. So, like, leaving high school and then going into college, all of my women friends started college at the same time, and then me and then one other girl actually got our degrees. And the rest of them found their husbands at university and then dropped out. So it was uncomfortable in that sense, just being a part of that culture where I was made to feel uncomfortable being a single woman in what the majority of the country would say is a normal age to be a single woman at. Like, if I was in New York, no one would bat the eye at me graduating at 24 and unmarried, or even not in a relationship. So
true.
Yeah, so there was a lot of judgment in that. And then the dating pool was tricky because, again, with that type of culture, there's not really a whole lot of people looking for a loud redhead with angry opinions.
Who make it that far. I feel like even if you do have a very strong voice, like this one does. This one likes to think that she has her loud voice. But I went into college thinking that I was going to graduate. I was going to move to San Francisco. I was going to live in a flat, and I was going to enjoy making art for the rest of my life. And I don't know why that dream was there, because no one told me that. I had no, there's no art industry in Idaho, as Kris and I know.
I feel like you just watched a rom-com.
Made it up.
Or you watched, How I Met Your Mother and thought Lily's marriage hiatus in San Francisco.
I haven't seen that movie.
Oh,
or
Jesus.
No, TV show.
Yeah, TV show. Good save.
Sorry.
Good save.
Sorry. I know Neil Patrick Harris is in it. That's all I have.
Good job.
That's what I have.
That is correct.
Isn't that good?
Yeah, I think that's great.
I feel like that's pretty all right.
Mm-hmm.
The showstopper of the piece, I feel like. I got it.
Yeah. Did a great job.
Maybe not.
But
okay, thanks.
Yeah.
But that being the only, that's the dream that I have. I was going to move away. I was going to do the things, and then I was going to come back. And maybe someday, maybe have a family. And then I met my husband, and that kind of derailed that avenue of my dream. But I still was like,
Andrew, you fucking dream crusher.
Dude, he's so cool. I mean, Kris is like my best friend, so she hears a lot of the negative stuff as, all venting happens between best friends.
No, I don't think he's a bad guy. It's just you say things about him how are you two fucking married? It's like you could say
Andrew is an A-type Texas mentality adult male. That is what he is, and I don't try to change him. I just try to speak to him on a level that we both can get along and understand. And every, relationship, there are things you agree on and things you disagree with. But he derailed one dream. And I was like, but I'm still going to get this degree. I'm not going to change what my career path is, what my career field is. And so I went on to finish my degree. Not the case for the majority of the women who were in my senior class in high school. A lot of them, as you said, it's same story, got married, dropped out, or immediately had children, and that became a reason for them to quit their degree seeking path. So I was like, I don't want that to be my story as well. Women do that and successfully become homemakers or work and kind of parent on the side, and they can do all those things. And I was not one of them. I was like, I really want to do this for me. So continued with that story, and I'm thankful that I did, because I met Kris.
Yeah, and I think I should clarify, there's nothing wrong with getting married and dropping out. I get it's not for everyone, and some people go in with different goals. I would say it was 50-50.
The MRS.
Yeah.
I feel like that's a legit goal. That's a legit goal. Yeah. Lots of women went with that being the goal.
Yeah, I would say it was 50-50 out of my group of lady friends in high school, where half of them were like, I'm going to go to college to meet my husband, and then we can get married, and then I don't have to finish my degree. And then the other half was they just happened to have gotten married while they're in college, decided that college wasn't the path for them, and then stopped. And then it's actually weird because you are in a unique situation where it would have been very hard for you to finish your degree because you married a military man. And you kind of lucked out on being able to finish your degree all at one university.
In one place.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and that was huge to me. I was like, if there's one thing I can tell anybody who's degree seeking, or if anybody asks, my cousin, we sat down and had a dinner before she started college, and I was like, look, wherever you choose to go to school, you need to start and you need to finish there. Because yes, you can go to other schools and do different things, but a lot of your credits aren't going to transfer exactly into the programs that you want them to. So you're going to have to figure it out. You're going to start where you're going to finish, or you're going to have a bunch of classes that you took and paid a lot of money for that didn't end up helping you in the end and didn't go towards what you thought they were in the end. So that would be a key recommendation. And I told Andrew, this was kind of bad of me. I got married and I was like, oh, by the way, if you ever deploy anywhere and I don't have my degree, I'm staying here and I'm finishing it. So it was kind of a big deal to me that I have that shiny piece of paper with an emblem on it and be like, bam, look at what I accomplished. And
I think that it was awesome that he was able to work with that, or be willing to have that be part of the goal and have that be important for you. Because
I agree. Partners are huge for, like, approval and support, and you kind of need both in order to get that. And I was very lucky to halfway, and I think it was a solid, I was in school for 2.5 years, and then I met him, and then we got married right before my final year of school. So it wasn't like I met him at the beginning of school.
Oh, I didn't realize you guys. So oh my God, I am so stupid. So I knew you before you were married.
Yes.
Holy shit. I had no... I feel so dumb. I had no idea that you got married while we were friends. I was not a good friend.
We weren't really friends. We were, like, acquaintances who sat next to each other in art class, and I would be like, oh, I get to sit next to Kris and Andrew every day, and da-da-da. Oh, different Andrew, by the way.
Yeah, different
Andrew. My Andrew, and then we have Drawing Andrew, and we might have Drawing Andrew on the show if I can convince him.
I bet you could convince.
I bet I could.
Art
I'm
Andrew.
very good at the words.
Yes. Isn't Art Andrew's wife also named Kay? Am I remembering that wrong?
I think you're remembering it wrong.
No, shit, he's not on Facebook anymore, so I can't confirm this.
He has his Instagram.
Yeah, but his wife's name isn't going to be on his Instagram, is it?
Yeah, it is, because they hang out all the time and talk, and she likes all of his stuff. It's Casey. That's what it was. Casey Shannon.
But I thought she went by Kay.
No.
No?
No.
Well, get him on the podcast and we'll settle this.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's been so long since I talked to him. God, he's doing art things.
Yeah, I haven't talked to him in a while. I just follow him on Instagram. Yeah, so, I moved down here because I wanted to... I needed change. I knew that I wasn't going to be able to work in the way that I wanted to in Boise. But I also knew... I don't know. I just knew that I couldn't stay there. But I did have in my mind that I was going to be in Portland in a studio making art. So we both had these dreams of being like in a apartment.
West Coast somewhere.
Yeah. Alone with our painting. And you're going to be moving to Okinawa and I'm in San Antonio, Texas. So proof that life isn't always what you think it's going to be, which isn't horrible. Like I had a hard time moving down here, but I don't regret moving down here. And I think I got...
So proud of you for it.
Oh, thanks. Thanks, buddy. Thanks, buddy.
You're welcome, friend.
Yeah. And then...
But it is scary to give up kind of... And I don't mean to say that Idaho is a culture, but it kind of is. You give up your culture, your region, and you're like, okay, here we go. Pack it up in a U-Haul and... traverse down to new horizons, and that's very impressive. So, and you're still doing art, which is huge.
Not as much as I should be, but that's changing. True. That's changing.
That is changing.
Yeah, I'm excited. So for me going into college, actually, do you know why I went to school for illustration?
No, best friend, tell me.
I met Bill Carmen in high school.
What?
Yeah.
No way.
So just so you guys know, Bill Carmen is the professor of illustration at Boise State University. Or at least he still is. I think so.
He still is.
Okay. Yeah, and he's quite renowned in several places, but mostly his personality. Yeah, so we had a teacher's assistant in my art class, and she was studying under Bill Carmen, and she convinced him to come to our art class and talk to us. And I knew kind of what I wanted to do. I wanted to do concept art for video games. I am a huge nerd. I love World of Warcraft. My dream going into college was I was going to get my degree in illustration, become a concept artist, and work for Blizzard. That was...
Do you still have... Okay, so during one of our illustration classes, I remember that you did a couple of character sheets. Do you still have those?
I do. I do still have those.
Oh my god.
I was looking at them recently, and I don't want to put them into the world, but
no, college work is its own thing.
is it's its own bad thing. It's its own bad thing.
I mean, yeah. Well, they force you to experiment, and they're like, okay, I know that this is how you would do this, now do it this way.
And then,
as if it's natural.
And then you're
it's always
screaming.
A fail.
Yeah.
Yeah, the whole time. Whole time.
Yeah.
All the words. All the naughty words.
Yeah, so I do still have those character sheets, and no one's ever going to see them. Yeah, so he came to talk to us, and he was talking about, because he's done video game contracts in Irene, California, I want to say. And he was talking about that, and he's like, if this is something you're interested in, he's like, you go to school for illustration. And I was like, boom, okay, I'm going to college for illustration because I'm going to be a concept artist and I'm going to work for Blizzard and I'm going to help make all the World of Warcraft expansions until I die. And so, yeah, I had gone in with pretty... You know what? No, fuck it. I'm going to be blunt. I knew going into college that I was ahead of the curve, skill-wise. Whether that's exposure from high school or whether that's talent or a combination, you can make your decision on that. But I knew that I was ahead of the curve. And so I wasn't so much worried about developing my technical skills as I was more interested about developing a style, because I felt like I didn't really have a voice. And going in, I was definitely in the mindset of like, I didn't want to make anything heavy. I wanted to, like you said, make pretty things. That I was obsessed with Art Nouveau. I still like Art Nouveau. I feel like sometimes it's a dirty word because its job was to just be pretty art, and no one likes pretty art anymore. Yeah, so that was my whole goal going in, and it's just like, I just need to narrow down my style because I could do a lot of different styles, and I felt like it made my portfolio look weird. Like, it was just too much going on. Like, why is it that she's got this style and she's got hyperrealism over here, and then what the hell is going on? So I tried to do that. I still feel like I'm struggling with it, but I've narrowed down and totally changed throughout college what I was going to do. So it turned out that I hated making concept art. That was...
You did struggle with it. I feel like it wasn't where your soul was pulling you.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like we have talents and then we have passions, and where the two meet is kind of where you make the best art.
Yeah.
And you had this really great talent, and you just had to find the style or passion that you needed to apply to it. And I think you found it by your senior showpieces were some of my favorite that were done by students.
Thank you. They're actually hanging up in my apartment right now. So
mine are in a box somewhere, so I feel you.
Yeah, so they're hanging up because I don't know what else to do with them, and I worked really hard on them, and I like them. Yeah, so it's the first project that we did for illustration was an editorial piece, and I fucking butchered it. It was bad. It was so bad. And Bill was like, I don't think editorial is where your niche is going to be. And I was like, I completely agree with that. And I didn't touch editorial work for, I think, 2 years until it was time to actually do the exhibition. And doing that, he was like, is this going to be more concept art like you've been working on? Is this going to be more narrative? Is it going to be more editorial? Mm-hmm. And my sketches were just naturally coming out editorial. And I was like, I know that you said that I'm not good at editorial work, but this seems to be where I should be going.
Where I'm going.
Yeah, and he kind of did this, like, bitchy Tim Gunn face where he's like, make it work.
It's so true. He does have a Tim Gunn face.
He has a fucking Tim Gunn face. Yeah, and I butchered the first piece and I had to completely redo it, but that whole year was the most beneficial year because that's when I finally figured out what my thing was, and I ended up being a lot more political and a lot more conscious about what I'm making because I ended up really liking the process of thinking about an idea before making a work rather than just being like, all right, I'm going to paint some beautiful flowers, which I still love to do. Mm-hmm. But yeah, so that's pretty much where I landed.
Love that. You learn to conceptualize, I feel like that.
Yeah.
It's no small feat. No small feat.
No, it's fucking hard. So, I don't know. Is there anything else that we need to cover? I mean, we talked
about our origin stories.
Yeah.
We talked about how we got our start in the college spectrum. We talked about our cats and why they're on our Prismacast art.
Which, for the record, important. I think we should clarify, neither of those cats look like our fucking cats.
Oh, yeah, neither of them. No. No. They're not portraits of specific animals.
No.
They're just cats.
Shockingly, my cat does not have a unibrow.
Well, I didn't. Shockingly, in black.
In black. I just took a Sharpie and just drew it on top of his little cat hairs.
Neither of our cats wear weaves. I feel like that's pretty solid. Not a thing. Definitely.
But now that's going to be a thing. Look, we're going to go on BuzzFeed next week, and it's going to be like, cats now have weaves, and here's why I'm living for it. And it's going to be 14 photos of fucking cats and weaves. So,
it's true.
Nailed it.
It's true.
Yeah, well.
No, so we got that, and then, but we haven't talked, what are we doing now? So why, we haven't
why are we making this?
Yeah. What are we doing now? What is it infusing our lives to build this podcast and even kind of expose ourselves to internet comments?
We'll make Will read the internet comments and then just tell us the nice ones.
Oh, we didn't introduce Will. We got to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's gonna love that.
He gonna be real fly about that.
Well, I know why I am kind of a podcast queen. I love...
Yes, you are. Yes.
I fucking love podcasts, like down to the point where I definitely listen to podcasts way more than I listen to music. We did like a bingo thing at work, or a scavenger hunt thing at work recently, and there's like a couple of manager-specific questions on there. One of them was recommend a podcast to Kristen that she isn't already subscribed to. And
ooh,
yeah, which by the way, I got one. I only got one.
Oh,
yeah.
Damn, girl.
Yeah, and everyone else is just kind of fucked. So I was able to subscribe to This Is Love. Oh, and Missing Richard Simmons. That's the other one that I got.
Oh, I miss Richard Simmons.
Yeah, listen to the podcast.
I'm gonna have to.
Yeah, Missing Richard Simmons.
You heard the recommendation here first, folks.
Which also has a lovely art reference. I am blanking on the artist's name right now. Who's the artist with the man in the suit, but the head is gone and it's like an apple with like a hat on top?
Marguerite? Is that how you say his name? Marguerite?
Shit. If Connor's here, he would know because it's his favorite painter and he's a surrealist. But it's a reference to that. Anyways, we'll figure that out later. So, yeah, I made it because I'm obsessed with podcasts. So I've always wanted to make a podcast, but I felt like I wasn't really a pro in anything specific that I was listening to. Like, okay, I love true crime, but I'm not really true crime. I think I'm funny, but I'm not a comedian. Not that funny. And
it is. It's Renee Marguerite.
Okay.
Sorry.
Great. Man,
picking this up.
Great.
Trying to Google real fast for you. Sorry.
I'm glad. Maybe we'll make that Will's other job is Google shit for us while we're talking.
He can be our fact checker.
Fact checker, editor.
Everything.
The things that we're not good.
Bullshit.
Yeah. Don't call us out on our bullshit. But what I realized is that there's not a lot of podcasts that talk about art, and the ones that do are either very documentary, like the Smithsonian and the Met have podcasts where it's very calm. It kind of sounds like ASMR. Very
beautiful. Very melodic.
Yeah, and just describing paintings for who I can only assume are blind people. Otherwise, I don't know, because otherwise then you're just like, oh yeah, I guess we'll learn about Rothko. It is a large white painting. La 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 la. Yeah, and then there's the chick, the Abby
mean, you right.
Yeah, I write. And then there's also Abby, whatever her last name is, from Broad City, who also did an art podcast. And it was kind of similar to like the Smithsonian and Met podcast, but she was making it a little bit more funny because she's a comedian and wonderful writer. But there wasn't really anyone talking about the life of being an artist other than like the punchline or the story. Because there's a lot of art news that it's kind of just like a one line in John Oliver's story about how rap is ruining our country or something. Actually, that was kind of weird. It's probably not ruining our country.
Probably not, but, you know, making an effect on, I don't know. I didn't listen to it.
Okay.
Is that bad? That might be bad. Let me talk about things I know nothing of.
Yep, we're just two white women just making shit up. No, but it's like he's talking about heavy shit, and then no one's really talking too much about the art world other than that Banksy just sold the most expensive painting in history, and then that's the end. So I wanted to do something that was palpable for people who may not realize that they're interested in art or may not realize how certain laws affect art or creative types. And I don't know, I just feel like visual art kind of is this thing that's constantly assisting other things in popular society and not always the forefront to like music and all that jazz. So, Kay, why are you doing this podcast other than the fact that I harassed you to do it for 3 years?
So I definitely am not the aficionado that Kris is for podcasting. I feel like I kind of have to modulate with my time a little bit more for what I listen to. Because there are so many movies that I want to watch and so many books I want to read. So there's a lot of other stuff that I have to, my eardrums need to be invested towards as well. So I do love quite a few strange podcasts. I don't really listen to a lot of art podcasts. I listen to a few. I do listen to the Mets, so I think that it's funny. But I listen to a lot of celebrity podcasts. RuPaul is like my favorite ever. I feel like what's the tea is just what's up with me.
I gotta subscribe to that then, because
RuPaul, he's like, his fame is just an extreme marvel for me. Like, just the way that he came to his stardom and the way that he's capitalized on it is just, I bow down, I worship. But because it's so much work, like, I see the work that people have put into podcasts and I'm just like, oh, this is ridiculous. But I do love quite a few podcasts, and I thought it would be really fun to come on and do different topics involving the art community, because I am like I did 1 year at a frame shop after college, and that was really fun. So I got like hands-on framing experience for archiving artworks and keeping them stable and secure. And then for 2 years I worked for a commercial printing company as a graphic designer and typesetter, and I really enjoyed being involved with the commercial side of the arts and how you can make artwork for people who don't necessarily know that they're ingesting art. And it kind of fascinated me. So I enjoyed working on the commercial end of the art community, but I kind of want to get back to what originally started my art passion, and that's finding out about artists' lives and what drives them and what gives them their spark and their passion. So while we're going to be talking about like artist roots and where they come from and what they're doing and stuff like that, and we are going to talk a little bit about their works and how they come through their works, I'm really excited to just like focus on the artist and figure out what makes them a tick.
Yeah, which we're going to be doing in our next episode. Super exciting.
Next episode.
Yeah. For me, I haven't had any job specific to art. It's just me doing freelance stuff. I've been doing freelance work for a couple magazines, I actually did a podcast cover, which I love. It's one of my favorite pieces.
It's cute.
Yeah, and then Kay and
For a bunch of dudes.
Yep, for a bunch of dudes, for a bunch of white men. If you need another podcast about white men talking about shit, I could recommend No But Seriously. And check them out. They're fantastic. Yeah, I just like art, and I would just like to talk about it more. And making art is something that I want to be more. I need to be better about doing it more. That's the thing. I work 50 to 60 hours a week, and
You're ridiculous, girl.
This last week was rough. So rough. So I just need something that's going to be giving me a life back, so I can get back into that and then have this be my main job. I want this to be my main job. I got a degree in it. I am in so much student loan debt for it. This should be the thing that's occupying my time the majority of the time, not this side chick shit that I got going on. And actually, last October, you and I had an exhibition together, and it was glorious.
Yes, it was. It was so much fun. We'll go ahead and post the evidence in our Instagram. If you've tuned out and you skipped through and you're tuning back in now, we'll update that Instagram with some information so that you guys have it on all of the networks. So.
Yeah, so on that note, where can everyone find us again?
You can find us at Prismacasters on Instagram.
And you can email us at prismacasters@gmail.com.
Woo!
And that concludes our first episode. I hope you enjoyed it, and that's it. Thank you. Goodbye.
Bye. Would like to take a moment to thank our audio tech William Higginson for mastering this episode. A huge thank you to Joseph McDade for our podcast track, Drifting Corners. And thank you for having listened to another rousing podcast from Kris and Michael Kay. We were thankful to have you for another week, and if you hit that subscribe button, we'll catch you in another 2. If you have thoughts to share, you can email us at prismacasters@gmail.com. To follow our visual show notes, search out Prismacasters on Instagram. And to get general updates, view content, and otherwise just get our cosmic lowdown, visit our website at www.prismacast.com. Don't forget to both rate and review our burgeoning show wherever you found our podcast so others can find us. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye!